Going your own ways, certainly not the easiest way to approach life. It was never meant to be easy. It was always meant to be challenging and full of roadblocks we gotta take, full of quests we gotta go through. And with all this doing, within all this trying to move yourself, you stumble upon certain challenges you cannot fulfill in the first attempt, or you come back to and just feel stuck. So that's where I've been in the last week. I felt quite stuck with my development as I'm trying to make an app from scratch without being a developer. I have quite some errors to take currently, and some of those, they take up quite a lot of nerves and energy from you, especially when you know that you're considering efficiency over everything. And sometimes I question it way too deep down whether a specific process might be efficient enough for me to actually go by it. And in this process of thinking it through, how I might be able to better set it up, I lose myself. I lose myself to an extent that I'm starting to rush, and just get like spit out into this unknown field in which I'll have to just try to get one more breath of excitement. Thing is that this is not the best approach to take this. I'm very sure about that, because I cannot be efficient about something I cannot solve yet. So I gotta be able to start thinking about whether I'll be able to solve it in a rational way, and then try to optimize it after I'm sure about how I'm doing. Because otherwise, this whole process would be switched up, and yeah, as you can see, I'm getting lost in frustration. This frustration is quite draining. It takes up very much of you, because it doesn't come from like the missing resilience for the hardness you have to go through, but it comes from the ever going loop you tap into to do something that's keeping you back from getting it done, getting this one seemingly trivial thing done, and being stuck on it for a way too long time, because you start to measure, you start to calculate how long this will take still, how much more time I'll need to come up with to get this done. And you look at the whole progress you're doing, and you see so little in the last week. So this feeling of the frustration then starts to kick in. And it only kicks in because the f- the the thought of that initial efficiency and how fast you want to get it done takes over. Because when I just don't measure it by it and take it in the moment and try to think about my ability, whether I'll be able to solve this problem in that way or another way, and structure it down and like come up with a structure and a system where I'm showing myself what the actual struggle is and why I have to take it, then I'll come back to that specific, or I'll be able to come back to that specific last version I have set out for myself. And I can build on that. And I would know that I can start from there and I'm not starting from scratch, because that is a feeling I get to which is quite supporting the frustration in the first place, when you don't feel like you've moved at all, because all it's so vague out there. It's such an open space in which you're not safe and you cannot grasp a single thing that makes much sense for you. So this systematical approach of making your own little, yeah, just like treasure hunt on which you like point out all the different checkpoints and paths you already took, might be a very good approach to not only maintain progress and appreciate the things I got done, but also to like see where the struggle actually comes from. Because the frustration would not occur when I would be clear about what I'm doing and why it is occurring and how I moved on in this like state where these errors came up. So what I try to take out of the words I've just said is that I'll need to consider a more based approach on, yeah, going after these like tasks I'm setting out to myself. Because doing things on your own doesn't come with like this pre-packed uh, things or tasks you just get from someone else, because nobody does this for you no more. When you're approaching things on your own, when you're trying to like get something out from the ground on, you gotta do all this structurizing for yourself. So that is like another thing why I think so many people just stop going after what they initially believed in they'd be capable of doing, and why I also stopped so many times, because it's not easy. It's fucking hard. You gotta be so resilient to all these immensely impacting and these forces that try to like crush you up when you're not able to persist them, you'll just get smashed and you just don't want to move on. But I could never stop, you know? That's why I know I'll find a way to get ahead of all this, yeah, all these frustrating thoughts. Because what are they in the end? They're they're like hot air. They're not existent in a visible manner. They just con they're a conclusion of me not being clear enough how I'll go after it. And in an age where everything can get clearer by just prompting it into an AI, for example, you just don't have to feel frustrated no more. Even though the complexity may not be so easy to get solved by external factors like an AI, but you should, or I should just listen and think and read more clearly because I I see myself moving ahead so fast because that thought of efficiency, as already mentioned, takes over, and so that I'm not even able to like let information sink in the fullest extent because the rush is holding it back. The rush of getting it done, the rush of moving forward, of finally getting to the point where I'll be able to break free. And the moment of breaking free is not a defined one. And I would not say that I'm I'm free by any means only because I'm not dependent on someone else's monetary income no more because I'm doing it on my own, because that is not the moment where I think I'm ever free, and I should not be, because free would actually mean empty, and I don't think freedom is something that's that can be like compared to emptiness. But when I think about breaking free, I see some blank spaces, or I see a subtle and habitat that's just very much only an ambience. And inside that truly can be like enjoyed for the very first time in a very long time. Because that is the thing I'm actually very bad at. I just can't enjoy because or lean back too good. I'm learning it. Yeah, I'm getting coming closer to enjoying life better or just leaning back, but it's so hard. It's so hard with these thoughts of like firstly having to be able to decide on my own whether I'll be standing up at that time or I'll be doing it for that long. So I think to be able to move on with that initial thing that's carrying me through the progress, which is the efficiency, I will need to define it anew so that I'm not getting back into the cycle of trying to stay on the surface by being as fast as I can, because speed is not the key no more. It's about the information. It's about the depth of information which will lead me further, not about the speed of the progress, but how far I can like internalize the input I'm getting from out there. Because when it's getting missed, or when crucial points and factors for progression get missed by, I won't be able to progress in a faster manner anyway. So it doesn't make sense in the first place to try to, yeah, just go so fast only because you want to get these specific things done more quickly. This is only my view on frustration, but maybe you can apply some things of it to yourself. Because frustration, I think, is mostly constituted the by a specific factor of loss of clarity about what you're doing, and like emotional intelligence within it. Because when you're able to like conclude that it might be better for you to like rationalize on things and taking a step back before you are like exposing yourself to an sphere where it's hard to get out of when you're in, because you're completely vulnerable to so many different kind of emotional impacts. Then it's like, yeah, that point shall not be crossed. Because why should it? Why should you like spend your nerves and energy on something that's not giving you back anything? It's only draining. It's only taking more of you. But I can see how just being here, just excluding myself for a moment, capturing some sun out here in the field, enjoying talking and sharing whatever is following my next thought process, gives me the energies I'll need to soon get back home, sit down, and try to find a structured and organized way of building myself the system to actually be able to maintain the efficiency in a proper way. So I don't get frustrated no more. Because I don't wanna feel this way no more. This just hurts and drains oneself. Yeah. So I'll be taking these things with me now. Try to let them sink in a quiet minute here and progress from here on. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you very soon.